Hi, I'm interviewing my grandmother, and her name is...
Dorothy May Cox. My maiden name was Whitney.
And how old are you?
79.
Okay.
I bet you can't hear me on that.
Okay.
I bet you can't hear me on that.
What do you remember about the house you grew up in?
It was an old house, had 3 big rooms, a screened-in porch, which we used as a parlor in the summertime, and a screened-in a hall instead of a porch. It had 2 porches, a front and a back porch. And the kitchen had the kitchen area and the eating area. It was a long room, and my dad made a table big enough for a dozen people because we had 7 children. And we would have company on Sundays, and we'd have to have 2 tables of food.
What do you remember about the town or community you grew up in?
I lived in the country about 5 miles out of Florence. And there was a 3-room school named Ray School, and there was a country store owned by my dad, and a blacksmith shop, and a church, and a highway, and ponds to go fishing in, and we used to have a lot of family picnics, and local baseball games.
Okay. Do you remember any of the homemade foods you ate as a child?
Yes, I remember my mother cooked everything from the beginning. Very little came already prepared, and she used to make, we grew our vegetables, and also we grew our beef, and we grew our poultry. And fried chicken was our favorite. And we would have always homemade biscuits, and sometimes gravy, and fried chicken for breakfast.
What were some of the foods you ate regularly?
Vegetables, meat, milk. We drank milk. We have our own cows. We milk the cows. I have milked the cow. And we loved milk and loved all kind of plain food.
Well, what were some of the foods you ate on special occasions?
Well, we had a family, I think birthday cakes and homemade ice cream. And we had family picnics in the summer where they'd make pots of chicken stew and fried fish in a big black pot.
Okay. Do you have any special memories about holidays like Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Thanksgiving and Christmas, we always had family, big family dinners, everything prepared by the women, and the children who had gone away from home all came back, and we just big family get-togethers.
What were some of the games you played as a child?
We used to play ante over.
What was that like?
That's like throwing a baseball over the house, and there'd be a couple of people on each side of the house, and you'd throw the ball over the house, and then you would chase them and hit them with the ball, and whoever you hit with the ball was it, and it was his turn to throw the ball over the house. And we also played tag and just the normal children's games. We played ball, we played hopscotch, anything, and we used to make playhouses, we called, out of tin cans and rocks. But we always had a good time.
Did anyone in your family ever make homemade toys?
Not that I remember, but we used to make, we would take a cornstalk and try to make a doll. And then horses, make like an animal out of cornstalks.
Did your parents or grandparents ever have any special hobbies or crafts, such as knitting, quilting, weaving,
My mother
or weaving
quilted
baskets?
and sewed, and we used to have quilting bees where her sisters or friends or neighbors would come and they would sit the quilt up and everybody would quilt at the same time on that quilt and visit and just have a good time. My daddy was a hunter. He hunted and fished a lot.
What were some of the memories about them?
But who?
About, like,
Huh?
about the stuff that they made.
That they made? Like the quilts, they were pretty. And they didn't make much. They got lost in there somewhere.
Do you remember any stories that were told to you as a child?
Yes, I remember one especially that my dad always told us at night when we were scared and see we had no electricity, so we had lamps and it was kind of dark. And he would tell us about the farmer and his wife had a garden, and they were working one day in the garden and they dug potatoes. And when the dad went out and got dug potatoes, and a bear had cut his toe off, and he had buried his toe in the potato patch. So they thought it was a potato, and they scraped it, and they, like you do potatoes, used to scrape new potatoes, and she cooked it along with the potatoes. And so that night, an old bear got up went to get his toe, and it was gone. So he got up on the roof of the house, and he said, "Who's got my big toe? Who's got my big toe?" The woman punched her husband and says, "Listen, old man, listen." So he listened, and he got up and he went outside and he looked all around the house and he couldn't find anything. So he went back to bed and the bear did it again. Said, "Who's got my big toe?" So he got up and looked, and there up on the roof of the house was a bear outlined in the moonlight. So he shot him, and they had bear soup for a week. My dad used to tell us this story at night when we would be a little bit afraid or something. And I've told it to all my grandchildren and to my friends' children.
Do you remember any stories about some of your eccentric or strange relatives or friends?
No, I can't remember any right now. I sure can't. No, I can't think of anything.
The horse.
The what?
The horse, remember?
You got cut off?
No?
The horse.
Oh, wait. Okay.
My granddad lived in Tennessee, and one time they had a rain, and at that time, and the roads all flooded, and at that time, the only way they had to go places was to travel was by horse and buggy. So my granddaddy and his son started to the store, and they got to this creek, and the water was over the road, so the horse refused to go. And my granddad was a little man, and he got out and he took the reins and he tried to pull the horse across the water, and the horse wouldn't go. So he got so mad he bit him. He bit the horse on the nose, and my uncle laughed, and then he got back and laughed at him, and so Granddaddy got back in the buggy, and he slapped my granddad, my uncle, or spat at him because going to punish him for laughing at him. And every time he'd hit my uncle would hit the horse, and the horse went flying down the road, and they got across the water. That was a family joke for a long time.
What kinds of medicines did you take when you were sick? Did your family use home remedies?
No, we did not use home remedies much, except we used to put Vicks on a flannel cloth and put it on your chest if you had a cold. Or I took castor and castor oil. Every time you get sick, you got castor oil. And it gave you the stomach ache.
Do you remember any sayings or belief concerning the weather, good luck, bad luck, dreams, marriage, birth, or death, or something?
I was trying to remember. If it. Oh God, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember, and I know one thing. If on New Year's Day, if your first visitor to your home was a female, the old saying was all your chickens would be hens. But if it was a male, all your chickens would be roosters that year. And the weather, I just don't remember any right now.
Okay. What is the most valuable thing your parent or other adults ever told you about getting along in life?
Work hard, have a good work ethic, do not lie, do not steal, and be a good Christian.
Do you have any memories about America during the war?
Yes, I remember when the war started. We were visiting an aunt at her house, and they broke into the radio broadcast that Pearl Harbor had just been bombed. I finished high school. I went to college at Florence State, which is now UNA, for a year. Then I went to work, and then my twin sister and I joined the Navy, and we spent 15 months in New York, at Hunter College, and in Washington, D.C. until we got out. Women at that time did not fight in the wars. We went in and replaced a man so he could go to sea and fight in the wars.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say? That's all the questions.
No, but this is what a good place we live in. My husband been in the military. I realize this more and more. What a wonderful place the United States is to live, and we all should get behind our servicemen and thank God for our country.
Okay.
That's it.